Welcome to the Disc Golf Show, guys. My name is Nick, and this is episode 10 of the 2026 season. And as always, this show is brought to you in part by our local pro shop, Final Nine Sports. If you're in the Northern California area, you can find them at two locations, one in Orangevale and one in Rocklin. Also, as always, we suggest buy, support local. Support your local pro shop. If you are unable to find what you're looking for or what you want at your local pro shop, we do have a remedy for that, and that is by Disc Golf Deals USA. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can save 10% off of your entire order. Some exclusions do apply, but yeah, always support local, but if you can't find what you're looking for there, go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow. Let's jump into it, guys. We do like to start off with good news, although for some, maybe this isn't. Today is ratings update day, PDGA ratings update day, so let us know, first things first, if you went up or down on your ratings. Mine did not move. I'm still, good or bad as it may be, 913 rated. So take it for what it is. All right, guys, we do have a few announcements. Well, actually, we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about, so hopefully we can get through this fairly quickly. Barbasol was announced as a title sponsor of the Open at Austin. So though they may not be the tour overall sponsor like they have in the past, they are still very much involved in disc golf and at the pro level. So big appreciation goes out to Barbasol for continuing a relationship with the Disc Golf Pro Tour in some fashion. There's some talk out there about Aaron Gossage and his logo. The issue is that a lot of people are saying that his new logo is more of a swan than a goose. And him being known for goose, that's kind of funny. I don't know. I think the markings do, from the pictures that were posted, some of the beak and lines that are on his logo do lean towards more of a swan. But you know what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's always going to be people that pick that apart. Although that is something that at a level of design, like I do enjoy designing logos and artwork and stuff like that myself, that is probably something that you'd want to pay attention to. The distinct color differentiation between a swan and a goose, probably something you should look at. Either way, the new Aaron Gossage debut proton reactor has addressed that in a fashion that it's very obvious that it's a goose on that stamp. So whether his logo or at least the markings on the bird that's included in the G of his logo, brand logo, gets updated or not, we will see moving forward. Yes, small issue, but just thought we'd throw it out there. There was an update post from Kristin Latt. Basically, the only thing I took from this was, quote unquote, sometimes my heart aches a little not to be out there competing. But at the same time, I feel very at peace with my decision to take time off and approach this year differently. What I see there is take time off. Not completely quit. Not stop playing. Yes, she did state that she's playing her local courses and stuff like that, which is more enjoyable. But from that statement, I'm going to take it as there's a possibility that she returns to the pro level. I'm hoping. I'm just putting that out there. I'm going to put that out there. Hopefully it comes true, guys. I don't know about you, but if you follow her, definitely do that. She also did recently put a video up of via the Latitude 64 channel that showing like forehand grip and stuff like that. So she is doing those still reviews and disc suggestion videos and stuff like that. So if you follow her, check it out. Let me know what you think about those posts. Moving on, we have Ohn. Scoggins is still undefeated for this year. She is 5 for 5 starting out the 2026 season. Her latest win was the Discraft Presents Throw Down the Mountain 14. It's an A-tier event, and right now she has 4 A-tier wins and that Supreme Flight Open DGPT Elite Series win. She also, just so you know, if you are a fan of Ohn, and who isn't, the award that she won, the big pillar, the big column, the trophy, is actually going to be sold, and it's going to be sold on Whatnot via the Lynn's Twins. I don't know if you know them, but the Lynn's Twins Disc Golf channel on Whatnot. The funds will be going to support Ohn in her tour. The current bid, we'll have the link to the Whatnot that will be hosted, I believe it's tomorrow, so it will be sold tomorrow. Though they do have it up for bid, so you can pre-bid. It's currently at $635, but you can have a piece of DGPT Ohn history, right? I would highly suggest, if you're a big fan, go check it out. At least follow their channel, and you can stay on top of what it ends up selling for. That's kind of cool. Moving on, also, we have Gannon Buhr. Gannon Buhr, as of today, with the ratings update, he's back into the 1060s. So he is currently at 1061 rated. Now, back in July of 2020 is where that record came from Macbeth of hitting 1062. So will he finally pass this year? You know, he almost did the end of last year, but he came up short. He kind of fizzled out at the end of the 2025 season. But what do you think? It's been 5.5 years, closing in on 6 years of a records rating amount of 1062 by Macbeth. So do you think Gannon Buhr will beat that in 2026? Let me know down below. Just some other little notes here. There are 2 people in the 1050s, and that's Heimberg at 1051 and Wysocki at 1050. And then Macbeth leads a group of 12 players in the 1040 range, rating range. We have 29 in the 1030s and 51 in the 1020s. So if you look at it, there's really 95 people that are either 1020 or higher rated currently via the PDGA. So just under 100 people have a 1020 rating or better. So that's just, I like data. You know, I'm a stats guy, so it's kind of neat to see those numbers. On a not so great note, PDGA recently announced its first permanent ban. I'm not going to put them on blast. You can probably look it up. Well, I know you can look it up because they update their list of people that have had issues and have to be addressed, whether they get suspensions or temporary bans or whatever that may be. Initials MC. I'll leave it at that. It was a Class A2 level issue, and that is considered a credible threat of physical harm. If you're at this point, just go find a different sport. Actually, don't even find a sport. Go find a therapist. Go find somebody to talk to get that off your chest, get that anger and aggression out of your system. Go find a punching bag. Take it out there. Do not take it out on people, out on the course, at a tournament, whatever it may be. Just some notes on that Class A2. Examples include assault as defined at U.S. common law, harassment, stalking, or intimidation. These are often ongoing offenses, and notwithstanding Section 3A1C, they do not need to be wholly or mostly based on actions at PDGA events for the committee to find jurisdiction. The conduct need only have a nexus with PDGA play. I'm guessing that's probably like, you know, club events, club rounds, weeklies, tag rounds, such as those things. Class A2 offenses carry a standard penalty of an 18-month suspension followed by a 12-month probation. Now, this isn't the only A2 offense that they've had in the past. This just happens to be the first one in which they implement the permanent ban. So the maximum penalty is permanent ban. Other offenses that you could receive a permanent ban are basically the Class A1, which is physical harm, or Class A3, sexual harassment of a minor. So, guys, this is sad to see but there are always going to be the bad actors wherever you go, whatever group, whatever sport, whatever hobby that you join or appreciate. You're always going to have these people that end up shining a bad light, but mainly on them. It's not something that's specific to the sport or anything like that, but it was just interesting. The PDGA has been around for 50 years. So one permanent ban in 50 years. Wish it was 0. So let's move on. We do have an update on the PDGA Asia Tour Championship, which will be held. Well, we don't have an update on the championship, on the tour, but the championship will be held this weekend, March 13th to 15th. This tour has been a 7-event tour, and the most recent stop, number 6, was the 14th Okinawa Open. And Jackie Chen, if you haven't heard of him, then you haven't necessarily been under a rock. But as for the players over in Asia, Jackie Chen is a big name. He is going to be the only participant at the championship that is rated over 1,000. So he's currently at 1,009. But that will be interesting. You do see these tours outside of the main PDGA or the main DGPT that are growing, and you're starting to see a lot of these athletes come from different parts of the world. And I'm always excited to see new names joining the ranks, and we do hope that these participants and athletes get better and better and push the level of play higher and higher. So hopefully we'll see Jackie at more events across the board, across the globe. But yeah, just a little update there on the PDGA Asia Tour. We had some rumors being addressed, and those being from, and this was mainly near the end of last year, 2025. I haven't heard too much about it recently, but the owner of Clash Discs, Timo Nuutinen, addressed some rumors, and those rumors being that Clash is going out of business. He addressed these by saying Clash has not shut down. Product development is temporarily on hold due to the current market. And we know the current market has plateaued, and there's been a leveling out of discs production and purchasing because of the plateau of players. So they are, however, looking to bring something new to the market in 2027, and they are continuing to sell the current lineup as usual. So if you are a Clash Discs fan, which I think they made great discs, the quality was great, the naming convention was cool, but yeah, if you are a Clash Discs fan, don't fear. They're not going anywhere from what it sounds like. We have an update or announcement for the 2026 PDGA Pro World Championship. And this comes from a company, I believe it's called Playwell. It is going to be a Lego brick experience coming to the 2026 PDGA Pro World Championships, which is super awesome. I think this is really, really cool. I haven't always said, because I would say I've always been saying this, but I've been saying this for a little while, at least to myself, is having something like this, or having a athlete, mainly obviously Gannon Buhr, because he's the biggest Lego fan in the community. Well, unless there's another one out there that just hasn't highlighted it. But I think companies like this that aren't specifically sports related, but they are dabbling in sports, like Lego has released stadiums, soccer stadiums, sets, and they do F1 cars. They're getting into the sports arenas. They just released this year the World Cup trophy and soccer ball. So I think things like this are awesome to get it more, I don't know, just more disc golf related products into the general community, not community, general population. But in relation to this, they're going to have 100,000 plus brick recreation of the toboggan course in Tournament Central. I think that's going to be super awesome to see. I hope they do coverage on that during the event or leading up to the event, or at least something specifically highlighting it moving forward. Spectators are going to be able to build things under a 1,200 square foot tent, which is cool. So they'll be able to build their own little items. And Playwell has hosted activations for companies like Netflix, Google, Facebook, HP, and Oracle. So these type of relationships also have you, or give you, the DGPT, a connection now in which they can talk to somebody who's related to these other businesses like Netflix, Google, Facebook. So I think these are definite relationships, definitely great relationships that could be advantageous in the future. I think these are small steps that lead to larger steps, and I'd like to see where this goes in the future. Maybe it might be more, obviously, disc golf being niche, it might be more niche for Lego, but maybe for a large event like this, Lego creates a unique little small disc golf basket that you can purchase, and then it becomes a rare item for Lego aficionados. Like, there are those people that are super, super deep into Lego where they have basements full of all these different items, or these little packages that are rare are more sought off down the road because they made a limited run of them. I think this is super awesome. If you want to look up more, you can go check out Detroit26.com and you can read up more on that. We have an announcement from Brixton that they have signed a 3-year deal to be the official providers of trading cards for the DGPT. Kind of an obvious move there, seeing as how Brixton is the main card creator for disc golf. But I think that's really cool that they're actually creating this an actual deal between the two. So hopefully good things come from that, and hopefully products can be handled smoother and more quickly. But we'll get to that. Last thing, definitely not the least, is new talk for the Big Easy Open. So this weekend, starting Friday or Thursday, this weekend is the Big Easy Open, and the biggest topic is new tee pads that are being implemented during this DGPT event. And that being from John Houck, the HD007, which is the larger tee pad size, and the HD005. The 7 is going to be, is already put in for holes 1 and 18, and the number 5 tee pad has been added to 9 additional placements. So it will be interesting how the pros, from what I hear, the pros have good opinions on them, but will it be applicable across the board for DGPT as a whole? So these products or projects, this project, let me reset, has been in development, these tee pad designs, for 3 years from John Houck, quote unquote, designed to improve footing, safety, and consistency for players while creating a more sustainable and spectator-friendly teeing environment. It is a 6x15 concrete tee pad as the main section, with a large surrounding concrete apron or skirt, which is what it's referred to as, to expand the usable run-up area. Also, alignment lines incorporated into the surface to provide visual references for players, spectators, and broadcast commentary. So down the road, you'll see these on coverage. You'll probably see these lines, and it's more of a down the road for reference on the variations in how the pros address run-ups on tee pads. So, and in addition to this too, it will help reduce wear on surrounding soil and vegetation, hopefully. Because the tee pad is larger, you don't have to start your run up off of the tee pad. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Well, I'm definitely interested in your guys' opinions on this, because it's an odd shape, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. For your average everyday course, it's kind of difficult, because is there going to be room on the property for these types of tee pads? Now, will it be only subject to Pro Tour level? We will see moving forward. We will see how the overall shape goes over, and how, if it's beneficial for the tour to look at having this be a standard moving forward for tour level events. But moving on to the disc golf, this leads us to the question of the episode. Question basically being, should we be catering the tee pads to the player, or should the player have to adjust to the tee pad? Now, I'm kind of in between that, because I don't want to have to adjust the tee pad so drastically that you're going, okay, well, now the player has any and every possible way that they could do or throw. Now, I think safety is a massive part of this, so I do like the idea of a 6 by 15 foot tee pad. Now, the extra skirt area, that could be addressed, maybe adjusted as time goes by. But what do you think? I do like the tee pad being addressed, and I think that there needs to be more of a standard moving forward, to where safety is a key component of design for tee pads. But yeah, let me know. What do you think down below? Before we get to gear and equipment, guys, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, like button, share button, notifications, all the goods. It always helps. I appreciate it. Moving on to gear and equipment, this segment is brought to you by Disc Golf Deals USA. Go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow. You can save 10% off of your entire order. Some exclusions do apply, but those big purchases, 10% adds up. Get baskets, carts, bags, all that stuff. If you're doing a big order, you can save some money there. We had 5 molds approved this last week, and we'll run through those here. The links will be down below as usual. Discount Disc Golf had the Dirty Dog approved. DGA has the Hurricane X approved. Mint Discs had the Rodeo approved. And then we have 2 discs approved from Essential Discs, those being the Breath and the Conflict. The Breath is an understable mid-range, flight numbers 56, -2, 1. And the Conflict, an overstable putt and approach, flight numbers 2, 3, 0, 2. As for recent and upcoming releases, a couple things, Trash Panda Huck Lab Canyon Premium. So they announced that recently. I believe it was at Disc South. That will be available March 13th. That link is down below. Castoplast Tough is now in a K1 plastic, and that will be available March 26th. And we had an update. This one hits close to home. We had an update from Brixton about their 2026 Brixton DGPT product. That is the hobby boxes and stuff like that. They did also announce about their titanium. I think that's kicked back till like December of this year for release. But they had a 6-week delay due to some relic, I believe it was relic items that weren't correctly done, or the quantity wasn't correctly counted for the Brixton DGPT. So those have been kicked back about 6 weeks. Hopefully that is it. As I said, personally, my wife purchased this back in November for Christmas. And obviously, they still haven't gotten put out. I think, I appreciate the thought process of, let's get a count of items or pre-orders that we want before we start production. But at the same time, when you're making a purchase, $100 plus, and you're waiting 6 months, 8 months, or however long it ends up being. It's been 5 months at least. So they've been talking about this product for over 6 months. I think it's tough. I don't want to talk ill because the product is a great product. It's just, I think the handling of communications could be better from Brixton currently. My wife being the one that purchased it, she hasn't had any update emailed to her about this. She hasn't received anything. The only reason I know is because I follow Brixton, because I'm trying to support them however I can, via social media. And they have these updates on social media. And I asked her, I said, well, did you get an email stating that there's a 6-week delay from blah, 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 blah? No, she hasn't received one. I think that is something that needs to be addressed on Brixton's side is, hey, man, an easy once a month, once every other week email that goes out saying, hey, we're working on this. We've had some bumps in the road, whatever it is, that goes a very long way. Just a little update email. So just a suggestion there. Last but not least for this segment, products that you need and are most important for your game are your shoes. You use them on every throw that you make. So those companies that we always try to help out are those that support the sport, and that is Idio Sports and Vessi Shoes. Those links will be down below. It all depends on your preference, your style preference. But yeah, go check them out. Idio has the Syncrasy, I think it's the V2 now, which is their low top, and the Brawler, which is their high top. And Vessi also, that they sponsor some players, as does Idio Sports. But those links will be down below. Check those out and pick up your preferred style shoe. We are to upcoming events, guys. Like I said before, this weekend, March 13th to 15th, the 2026 DGPT Big Easy Open. That is in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, the newest venue on the DGPT. And then I've been kind of shouting these out for the local community, Northern California, Sacramento area. March 19th, so next week, middle next week, Disc Golf Night at Golden One Center, Kings versus 76ers game. OTB has jumped on, working with the Kings, which is cool to see. But you'd be able to get, you get a free hat, and you get the ability to go out on the court after the game and shoot a free throw on an NBA court. That doesn't happen very often. So if you are a basketball fan, disc golf fan, go check out the link below and get those tickets while you can. And last but not least, for upcoming events in our area here, on March 29th, the Little Oaks Fundraiser Tournament at Sacramento Adventist Academy, Carmichael, California. It's a bring your own partner fundraiser. The money will go towards the company called Maranatha, which does missions out to underserved countries. And they bring out, dental and medical equipment, and in addition to instruments and things like that. So you can find out more via the link below about where those funds go to. But if you're in the area, definitely it's a Sunday event, one round Sunday event. And yeah, always fun to have those doubles events. And especially if you can bring your own partner. You can play around with your buddy. So go check that out. Moving on to the mailbag, this is where we suggest products and videos for you guys to check out. Product for this episode is Tech Disc. If you are at all curious about stats, about how you play your game, what you can improve on, your technique and all that, check out Tech Disc. It gives you all the data you'd like, spin rate, speed, nose angle, all that stuff that you can make those adjustments to make you better at your game. So the link for that will be down below. And for all those smaller businesses that have been around or are trying to make their way in disc golf, send me an email, discgolfshow@gmail.com. Let me know what products you have an idea about or that you're trying to get the word out. I am more than happy to throw it in the notes for the next show. Please send me a message or message me direct on any of the socials. As for the video, I wanted to highlight the MVP practice round with Silas Schultz and Paul Kranz. The link will be down below. It shows them kind of the new guys. Well, Silas being the newest member, kind of on MVP, and him figuring out his bag, and him going out and playing rounds with Paul Kranz. Really cool to see their dynamic and how they adjust with each other, and the tips that they give each other, and the different styles that they have in play. I always like to see that myself. So go check out that MVP practice round. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. I really appreciate all your time and support. We like to try to provide you with ways to save some money. So that being, if you're looking for a new disc golf bag, you can go to Upper Park Disc Golf. You can use code DiscGolfShow, save a little money there. And as always, Disc Golf Deals USA. Go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow. You can save 10% off of your entire order. Some exclusions do apply, but get those bags, carts, baskets. That money adds up. Save some money there. And then, as always, Final Nine Sports, our local pro shop. Big shout out to them. They've been a sponsor of us since the beginning. If you are in the Northern California, Sacramento area, then you can find their pro shops in Orangevale and Rocklin. If you have any suggestions of topics or products or anything you'd like me to throw in the next episode, shoot me an email at discgolfshow@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to include it, whether it's a fundraising event or anything like that. Love including that type of information. But other than that, guys, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button, notification, share, likes, all the goods. And yeah, guys, I will see you next week.